shift in innovation strategies. In today's fast-evolving business world, innovation strategies are constantly transforming. This session aims to provide valuable insights into these changes and equip us with the knowledge to foster breakthroughs in technology. We are privileged to have with us Professor Dr. Abhijit, a distinguished faculty member at International Business School with 30 years of experience. Sir holds an executive education certificate in data analytics from IIM Rohtak, along with a PhD in management and an MBA from Rohtak University. He brings with him extensive knowledge of platforms such as Google Classroom, MS Teams, Tableau, SQL, Power BI, and many other advanced technologies used for data analysis and digital learning. Professor Dr. Abhijit has actively contributed to conferences in India and abroad and has a strong passion for digital learning and data analytics. Before we begin, may I request Ms. Prerna Jain Sharma to kindly present Professor Abhijit with a sapling as a token of appreciation.
About shift in innovation strategy. Now, innovation is not anything new. Innovation has been around for thousands of years. But the strategy which corporates have adapted for innovation is undergoing a massive change. Innovation, if you look at the previous 100 years, was pretty slow. And innovation in the 20th century and 21st century have become very fast. So, with this fast-changing landscape of innovation, companies need to adapt their strategy towards innovation. Now we have closed innovation and open innovation. Closed innovation is the traditional form of innovation which relied on research and development and proprietary knowledge. It faces high cost and a slow pace. So here the companies are focusing on their own research and development department to produce or come up with innovative concepts, ideas and products. And proprietary knowledge means that they would obtain a patent or copyright for whatever new product or process that they had developed. But this process involves spending a lot of money and the process was slow. The reason for slow process is, let us take for example the pharmaceutical industry. It carries out research on thousands of drugs at a time, and out of 1,000 maybe 10-20 become successful products. So over a period of 20 years, it takes at least 20 years to launch a new drug in the market. So that process was very slow. Now we have open innovation. Collaboration with external partners and leverages external ideas. This model speeds up innovation and reduces cost. So here, a lot of companies have adopted this. You innovate, and when you find that some other company has launched a new innovative product or concept or process, then you take over that company. Now, Google acquired Android. Android was a very small company worth $50 million. Google acquired Android and now it's worth billions of dollars. Majority of the mobile phones in the world work on Android platform. The Android was not developed by Google. If Google depended upon its own R&D team to develop an operating system like Android, it would probably take several years and also spend a lot of money. Instead of that, they took over this company, small company worth $50 million, and now it has become worth billions of dollars. Procter & Gamble's Connect Plus development program increased innovation rate by 50%. The difference is that in closed innovation, the cost is very high and the pace is slow. Whereas in open innovation, the cost is reduced and speeds up the innovation. Now it took probably a couple of months for Google to acquire Android, but it would have taken several years for Google to develop an operating system like Android. Now agile and lean innovation is what we are talking about today. In the traditional model of innovation, which was called waterfall, it was very rigid, sequential and slow. It struggles to adapt to changing requirements. Again, I'll give you the example of pharmaceutical industry. So for 20 years you are working on a particular drug, and after 20 years you may find it suitable to be launched in the market or may not be. So process is very rigid, process is slow, process involves a lot of money. Agile innovation is iterative, flexible and customer centric. So flexibility, you can change this process. This process, traditional waterfall model, was very slow. Here you can change it anytime you want, in any way you want, and the most important, it is customer centric and it adapts to feedback very quickly. So today, for a product to be successful in the market, it has to be customer centric. And today, and digital media, customer feedback is very easily available, and companies need to work on the feedback and adapt their product processes according to the feedback of the customer. Third is lean innovation. Lean and agile. Agile means that it is easy to change. You need not follow a rigid first step, second step, third step. You make the process flexible. So agile means flexible, and lean means minimizing wastage, using rapid prototyping and validates learning. So you develop a product, maybe on CAD/CAM software, then how do you develop a valid or rapid prototype? Today you have 3D printing machines. So you come up with a product, you develop a product, and with the help of a 3D printing machine, within minutes you will have a prototype of the product, which would earlier have taken several months to develop. You can do it within an hour or so. And agile innovation projects are 28% more successful than traditional projects. Spotify releases new features every few weeks. Now see, in the digital world you have to be very fast, because word of mouth spreads very fast through social media. So if there are any negative reviews about your product, this information will spread very fast all over the world. So you have to be agile, you have to be able to transform your product, your services, your organization with the changing customer reviews. Innovation, cloud computing provides scalable and accessible resources for innovation. Earlier, if you wanted to develop a large software, so you would require lot of hardware, software. Today, everything is on the cloud. So it is providing lot of space with the help of which you can develop new software, new technologies very easily. Second, AI enhances data analysis and automates innovation process. So I think you have also probably started using AI, and I need not elaborate on the benefits of AI. It is for everybody to see. The greatest effect of AI I have personally come across is in the field of research, which I discuss with students and faculty members. In research field, it has brought about major revolution. Third is big data identifies unmet needs and market opportunities. The big data is that earlier we had access to only small amounts of data. Suppose you want customer feedback. How will you do it? You go around carrying out a survey, how much data can you collect? 500 people, 1000 people, 5000 people. Today, you start collecting reviews from Twitter, from Instagram, right? And you can literally collect lakhs and millions of reviews from these websites. Millions of reviews, which you can analyze to find out what are the unmet needs of the customer, and accordingly you can modify your company product offering to satisfy those unmet needs. Netflix uses data analytics to personalize recommendation, leading to 80% customer retention. So Netflix is one of the most successful companies today. Completely, it is in the process of replacing or changing the way people view television. So traditional channels are losing business and Netflix is growing. Why is Netflix growing? Because it is customer centric. It focuses on reviews of customers, because of which it has been able to retain 80% of customers, even though there is competition in that field also. Now, sustainability-driven innovation, eco-innovation, developing products and services that reduce environmental impact. So today people are becoming environmentally conscious. They want to use products which are environment friendly. Now I'll give you an example in my life personally. I use garbage bags which are biodegradable. So normal garbage bags are made of plastic which is not biodegradable. So I may buy garbage bags which are specially biodegradable. So today, when you are developing a new product or service, you have to make sure that it is environment friendly. Today you have refrigerators, you have air conditioners, in which it's written CFC free, because CFC damages the ozone layer, leading to greenhouse effect. Circular economy, designing products for reuse, recycling and regeneration. There should be minimum wastage. You should recycle everything, because all the resources in the world are basically limited. Earth is of limited size, and if we keep on, if we don't recycle and reuse product, it will lead to major environmental damage, and we will finally run out of resources. So things like plastic, things like cold drink bottles, cans, these can easily be recycled. So I think even at a personal level you should use these. Third is social responsibility, meeting needs of society through innovation and product sustainability. Now, social responsibility today, all the large companies, particularly companies which want to be a part of or are listed on stock exchanges and want to grow at an international level, they have to show social responsibility. Even as individuals, you have to show some kind of social responsibility. So it's not sufficient. Suppose you're making your CV and you're putting your CV on LinkedIn, right? You do it, no harm with that. But do you know what LinkedIn or the company is looking for in your CV? One part is social responsibility. What have you done towards social responsibility? Any charitable work that you have done, you should mention in your CV. Then it automatically gets selected and shortlisted. So make sure when you put your CV on LinkedIn, include some charitable work which will reflect that you are socially responsible. Yes.
अभी आपने बताया कि आप जैसे पर्सनल यूज करते हो सर वो बायोडिग्रेडेबल बैग्स गार्बेज के लिए, पर सर आप यूज कर सकते हो, मैं यूज कर सकता हूँ और सर 10 जन यूज कर सकते हैं, पर सर हमारी सर कंट्री में सर पॉवर्टी इतनी कि हर कोई यूज नहीं कर सकता। अवेयरनेस सर क्रिएट करना बैग आएगा, वो आएगा 5 से 10 रुपए का सर बैग आएगा मिनिमम, और सर 70 रुपए में सर कालीपन नहीं आता पूरा 100 पीस।
हाँ, I agree, it is costly, I agree, but जितने लोग अफोर्ड कर सकते हैं वो भी नहीं खरीद रहे। एटलीस्ट जितने खरीद सकते हैं, मैं अफोर्ड कर सकता हूँ तो मैं यूज कर रहा हूँ। बट अगर आप पूरे क्लास में पूछो कौन कौन यूज कर रहा है, तो जो लोग यूज कर सकते हैं वो नहीं कर रहे हैं।
2% अगर पॉपुलेशन यूज करती है तो सर 98 तो सर फिर भी है।
हाँ, absolutely. But this is what we need to create awareness about. And today, Western countries where that awareness is there, people will buy only those products which are environment friendly. Whereas in India, that awareness is not there. Neither the awareness for this circular economy, recycling, we buy cold drink without thinking about recycling. So this is what we need in India, we need to focus on. Now comes a very interesting concept called corporate venture capital. So you have all heard of venture capital, but I am not sure whether you heard of corporate venture capital. So corporate venture capital, we will discuss what it is. It has certain advantages: external innovation, market intelligence, strategic partnership and emerging technology. Now CVC is, again I will give you that example of Google acquiring Android. So you have seen in the software and digital sector, lot of companies acquire other companies. TCS acquired some company, Infosys acquired some company. So instead of relying on their own internal innovation and research and development, they acquire new companies. So what is corporate venture capital? You will learn today. CVC involves corporations investing their own funds directly into external startups rather than through a third-party venture capital fund. CVC investments are driven by a combination of strategic and financial goals. Now you see the difference here between a traditional venture capital financing. Why does a traditional venture capitalist invest in a particular new company? क्यों करता है? Only with one goal, financial goals, but not strategy. But corporate venture capitalist uses a combination of strategic and financial. Finance तो कहीं नहीं जाएगा, it is important. So when Google acquired Android for $50 million, it was because an external company or organization had developed a technology which could easily be acquired by Google, right? And now suppose, let us take another example, that is of Hotmail. Hotmail was acquired by Microsoft. Microsoft acquired Hotmail. Hotmail was the first free email service provider in the world. So it became very popular. Now Microsoft, if it tried to develop an email of its own, so you see, look at this, the world's largest company. The largest company in the world would have taken several years to come up with a platform like Hotmail. So the easier way out was to buy it. So it invested $400 million, it bought Hotmail, right? And now it is transformed into Outlook. So this is what corporate venture capitalist is. Now why did Microsoft buy Hotmail? For strategic goals and financial obviously. So strategic goals, why? Because this was a very rapidly developing field, email. And today again you see how important email has become. And Microsoft did not have a presence in that field. So that is why it bought it. Similarly, Google bought Android, Infosys buys small software companies, even TCS has bought several software companies. So instead of relying only on their own research and development, where the process is slow and expensive, because you can try out several new ideas, products and you may still not get a winning idea, a successful product. But if someone else is doing it, उससे खरीद लो आप. Access to innovation, corporations use CVC to gain new technologies, new products and services that can help them innovate and stay ahead of their competition. Now with one small acquisition of $50 million, Google completely dominates the mobile phone operating software market. Majority of the phones are now on Android. So why did Google acquire it? To access new technologies, products and services which will help them in innovation. And being the open source software, hundreds and thousands of apps are now available on Android. Early identification of acquisition target. CVC investment can help corporations identify potential acquisition targets early in their development. So you will see that a lot of companies are acquired when they are not famous, when they are not popular. Like again, Android was a very small company, nobody had heard about Android. At which point of time Google acquired it, before they became famous. Had they become famous and then Google had tried to acquire it, instead of $50 million, they would have paid billions of dollars. Right? So the point of time at which you find a suitable target and acquire it is important. You have to do it early stage, and it can be done by a venture capital firm, but venture capital firm, traditional venture capital firm, will not have any strategic goal. They will only have a financial goal that if this company is successful, they will launch an IPO and sell off all the shares. That is the only goal of a traditional venture capitalist. But of a corporate venture capitalist, they have strategic goals that they are able to get access to new technologies like email for Microsoft, like Android for Google, and similarly TCS, Infosys, they keep acquiring hundreds of smaller companies. Then market expansion. CVC can help corporations enter new markets or expand into new areas of business. Now, Microsoft was trying to enter the mobile phone operating system market. It was trying to develop a Windows for mobile phones, right? But the product which they had launched was not very successful. It was slow, it would hang up, and it wasn't working properly. So even the largest company in the world was having trouble launching an operating system for mobile, whereas Android did it. And Google, with one acquisition, it was able to completely remove Microsoft from the mobile phone operating system market. एक झटके में just one acquisition and it was over. So this is how Google was able to capture the entire market for operating systems of mobile phones. Now financial goals are of course there. Return on investment. CVC investments can generate financial returns for the parent company through equity ownership in the startups. So equity ownership is part of venture capital financing, whether it is done by a venture capital company or it is done by a corporate venture capital. So the basic way of venture capital financing is that the company will buy equity shares of the startup and thereby acquire the company. CVC investments can lead to strategic partnership between parent company and startup, which can benefit both the parties. So that small startup, which is a small company, does not have access to resources and markets. When it is acquired by a large company like Microsoft or Google, all of a sudden it has unlimited resources at its disposal. Now, differences between traditional venture capital. While traditional venture capital involves investors who are focused on financial returns, I told you. CVC investments are driven by strategic goals. Investment focus, CVC investments are focused on startups that align with strategic interest of the parent company. So if it is Google, Microsoft, Infosys, TCS, they will not invest money in, let's say, electric vehicle manufacturer. They will invest in other software companies. They will purchase or buy stake in other software companies. They will probably not invest in a car manufacturing company unless it is somehow related with their software. Traditional venture capitalists are more focused on finding companies with huge growth potential. So, software company will invest in software through CVC mode. But a traditional venture capitalist does not have any such strategic goals. So they can invest in any company, any industry, any field. They do not have this limitation. Whereas a corporate CVC has this limitation that they will invest only in those companies with which they have some strategic use or tie-up. So if you realize that most of the companies which have been acquired by Microsoft or Google have all been software companies. Right? C investment can range from relatively small amounts to large investment depending upon strategic goals of the parent company. So something like $50 million for Google to $400 million for Hotmail. And this Hotmail was way back in 90s. Investment process, CVC investments are made through dedicated CVC programs within the parent company and often syndicated with independent venture capital firms. So, investment process is that CVC, these companies who are using corporate venture capital financing, they have a department within their organization who coordinates with traditional venture capital funds to identify these companies which have a strategic tie-up with, which can have a strategic tie-up with the parent company or corporate. So CVC funds are Google Ventures, a corporate venture capital fund owned by Alphabet, the parent company of Google. Salesforce Ventures, a corporate venture capital fund owned by Salesforce. Intel Capital, corporate venture capital fund owned by Intel. Deutsche Bank, financial institution with a corporate venture capital program. Now if you see, now Google Ventures will invest in what kind of company? Mainly software companies or anything else related to software. Suppose you have self-driven cars, right? So that also requires software. So Google is into that business. So it will acquire a company which is making self-driven cars or electric vehicles. Salesforce, corporate venture capital fund owned by this company, Salesforce, which is into marketing. So any marketing related company or concept, it will take over that. Intel makes chips, microchips. So it will acquire any small company which makes these microchips, right? Deutsche Bank, what kind of business will be acquired by the Deutsche Bank? Again in the financial sector, or maybe some related to technology like what do you call it? The bitcoins, cryptocurrencies, something like that. Measure innovation success, you have traditional metrics. Traditional metrics means ROI, time to market, revenue for new products. ROI means how much return on investment will the product give. So when a traditional venture capitalist is evaluating several options, venture capital options, so it will say, okay, today we are investing 100 crores in this company. After 5 years, we will get 500 crores. So that is the kind of return on investment they are looking at. Time to market, how long will it take to launch this product in the market? Suppose there is a startup which has just started developing a new product or idea. So how long will it take? Suppose 5 years. So it takes into account how long it will take, how much money will it make, and how much revenue they will get from the new products. So these were traditional ways of analyzing venture capital targets by traditional venture capital companies. Modern metrics are customer satisfaction, employee engagement. So instead of focusing on return on investment, they are focusing on customer satisfaction and employee engagement. Then you have balanced scorecard, dashboards to track innovation performance. Now we create a dashboard which will help us in tracking the performance innovation level of a CBC company. I'll show you an example. Now what is a balanced scorecard? Normally when you are evaluating performance of any company, so what do you look at? If somebody asks you, अच्छा क्या कर रहे हो? बोला अच्छा पढ़ रहे हैं, BBA कर रहे हैं. तो first thing they'll ask you कितना % marks है? First thing this is what they'll ask you, friends, relatives and so on. So they are evaluating you by your marks. So how do you evaluate a company? How will you evaluate performance of a company? Profits. ठीक है? Profits. But balance scorecard says that there are other things besides profit. तो मैंने कहा भाई ये गेम भी बहुत अच्छा खेल लेता है, क्रिकेट भी बहुत अच्छा खेल लेता है, टीचर भी अच्छा है, लोगों से बातचीत करता है, घुलता मिलता है. So those factors are also important. But traditionally what we do is we look at only profitability. So balance scorecard says that you should look at other factors also besides profitability while evaluating a company. So qualitative feedback and learning from failures are crucial to modern metrics. Focus on ecosystem impact, understanding what is working and what is not working. Now, one problem with venture capital financing is that if a venture capitalist invests in 10 companies, out of those 10 companies, only 2 might be successful. Out of 10, only 2 might be successful and 8 of them will incur losses. See? So this is the problem, that you have to learn what is working, what is not working, what will lead to failure and what will lead to success. Now to effectively track innovation performance, organizations can leverage dashboards that visualize key metrics like project success rate, idea generation volume, timely enabled data-driven decision making and fostering a culture of innovation. So project success rate, out of 10, only 2 projects were successful. So success rate कितना हो गया? 20%. 2 out of 10, 20. So project success rate, idea generation, how many new ideas and concepts have been generated. So we can have a, this is what a dashboard looks like. The image is not very clear, but just to give you a brief idea, number of ideas, ideas by type, projects by stage. Okay, so this is how we develop a dashboard to evaluate all the projects. track would be number of projects that started. So in venture capital financing, CVC or VC, you have to see what is the total number of innovation initiatives. You have invested in 10 projects. Innovation success, out of 10, only 2 were successful. Then average lead time of an innovation process. Now, when Android was acquired by Google, ऐसा नहीं है कि the very next day Android became successful. ऐसा तो नहीं है ना. Android became successful. It must have taken a couple of months, year for Android to become successful. So what is the lead time? 6 months, 1 year for the acquired product or service to become successful. ROI of new products or business models. This quantifies the financial impact of innovation. How much return on investment will be generated by this new concept. Amount of active users, customers. This tracks the impact of new innovation on user engagement and customer base. Now, FB you've heard of? Yes.
सर सक्सेसफुल की सब क्या बात है सर? आप किसी को कहेंगे कि वो बंदा सक्सेसफुल है?
Okay. Now successful. Let us say Android was a successful acquisition. Android was a successful acquisition by Google. Hotmail was a successful innovation. Okay. Apple started acquired a company called Xbox. Not successful, which was making computers. Right? आपने नाम सुना Xbox का? Sorry, Xbox तो वो है कंसोल. Microsoft. Xbox नहीं था. उसका नाम कुछ Black Box या कुछ था. Which was making computers, but it was not successful. So Apple acquired it, but the company was not successful. वो प्रोडक्ट चला ही नहीं मार्केट में. Android became very successful. Hotmail became very successful.
सर ये तो सबसे बड़ी कंपनीज होगी. असल तो छोटे बिजनेस कर रहे हैं, स्मॉल बिजनेस से तो वो सक्सेसफुल वो उनको क्या कैसे सकते हैं?
वो जो स्मॉल बिजनेस है, वो छोटा बिजनेस एक्वायर कर सकते हैं ना. अब आपके पास एक बड़ी मिठाई की दुकान है, आपके बगल में एक चाय की दुकान और है, ठीक है. अब आपको लगता है कि अगर आपने उसको भी एक्वायर कर लिया और वहाँ भी आप मिठाई बेचना शुरू कर दें, तो it will help you in expanding the market. So that is a small successful acquisition.
जैसे सर कोई कॉर्पोरेट सर ऑफिस है, सर उसके सामने सर चाय वाला है, सर वो कॉर्पोरेट जैसे सर वो जो एम्प्लॉय है वो सर हमारा से 50,000 कमा रहा है, तो चाय वाला से 70,000 कमा रहा है, 80,000 कमा रहा है, तो सर वो उसकी नज़र में वो सक्सेसफुल है.
नहीं, देखिए, अब कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर जब इन्वेस्टमेंट करेगा तो दो चीजें देखेगा. ऐसा नहीं कि वो खरीद तो सकता है माइक्रोसॉफ्ट किसी को भी इंडिया में, लेकिन मैंने कहा कि वो ये नहीं है, ये स्ट्रैटेजिक गोल देखते हैं कि अगर गूगल एक्वायर कर रहा है तो सॉफ्टवेयर कंपनी को करेगा, ठीक है, जो उसके लाइन ऑफ बिजनेस से रिलेटेड है. डॉइच बैंक करेगा तो फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज वाली कंपनी को ही करेगा. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री में, कार में, केमिकल्स में, इसमें नहीं जाएगा. तो जो उसके स्ट्रैटेजिक गोल को मीट करता है उस कंपनी को, अगर बड़ी कंपनी के सामने चाय वाला है, उसके स्ट्रैटेजिक गोल को किसी तरह मीट तो नहीं कर रहा ना. सपोज वो सॉफ्टवेयर कंपनी, तो सॉफ्टवेयर कंपनी के लिए इट विल बी more useful if it acquires another software company, not chai wala or any restaurant. Okay, now user engagement and customer base. Facebook became very popular and founder of Facebook on it, Mark Zuckerberg has become a billionaire. Why? उसने किसी वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट फंड से वो अपनी कंपनी नहीं बेची, वो खुद ही पब्लिक में गया. Why? Because it already had a customer base of 1 billion users when it started went public. IPO जब निकाला, it already had a customer base of 1 billion users. ChatGPT got 1 billion customers within a month. Innovation funnel conversion from ideas to projects to implemented project. Innovation क्या है? Funnel means it goes like this. You start with a broad idea, you narrow it down, make a product and finally launch the product in the market. Number of ideas generated, every idea will not be successful. So if you are generating 100 ideas, maybe 5 or 10 will be successful. So you have to, if you want 10, you will have to come up with 200 ideas. So more ideas you generate, more chances are that you will have some successful products. Employee innovation makes measuring percentage of innovation activities can help assess the innovation system health. Now there is a company called 3M. Minnesota Mining and Minerals, उसका original नाम था, it is called 3M. और इंडिया में it has a collaboration with Birla Group, Birla 3M. आपने 3M नाम लिखा हुआ कहीं देखा है? टेप पे वो जो येलो स्लिप्स आती है जिसमें वो ग्लू लगा रखा है, चिपका देते हैं, स्टिकी नोट्स, तो दैट इज मेड बाय 3M. तो 3M कंपनी फोकसेस ऑन एम्प्लॉय इनोवेशन. वो कहते हैं दिन में इफ यू आर वर्किंग फॉर 8 hours, then spend 20% of your time in thinking of innovative products. And it has come up with several successful innovative products and ideas. Like this sticky note is one product. It has come up with several successful innovative ideas only through its employees. Track risk potential and issues that could impact innovation projects. So when recently I read this, Facebook came to India. It faced a lot of problems. There were privacy issues, government regulations. So when it came to India, there was a lot of risk involved. It doesn't work in China. China has banned Google, Facebook, everything, right? So it doesn't work in China. Even in India, there was a risk that the government might not allow it, or government might ban it. Continuous innovation, creativity, foster creativity, and so you should have in an organization, you should create a culture of creativity. Like this example of 3M which I gave you. इन्होंने बोला है every day spend 20% of your time on thinking of a new product. Empower employees to contribute ideas. अब ये मेरे पास एक आइडिया लेके आया, मैंने कहा टाइम वेस्ट मत करो, बेटर है. So if your employees come up with ideas, you don't entertain them, it is of no use. Create a supportive environment for innovation. And innovation is a continuous process, not a one-time activity. ऐसा नहीं है कि एक बार आपने innovation कर लिया और उसको बंद कर दिया, it is over. It is not like that. It is a continuous activity, innovation, because innovation is itself a continuous process. It was there 100 years ago, it is there today also, right? Okay, thank you.
Strategies to embrace innovation in today's dynamic environment. A heartfelt thanks to everyone for being a part of this energy session. We hope this session has